Okay, everybody, it is time. John Robinson here with a walkthrough on the property here in Park City, Utah. Just a little background on this particular property. It is a high-end luxury home here in the Park City, Utah area. This is a ski resort town. Some of you have been here before. You know more about this town than I do, so I don't want to try to give you too many details about the city itself. But as you can see here in the background, this is a beautiful area. There's lots and lots of uh, luxury homes in this area. In fact, it's kind of hard to find a house that's not priced in kind of the high end because of the fact that there is so much recreational activity here. Definitely kind of a resort town feel. I don't know if this is going to come in backwards, if you guys can see that, but this is the off main powder house. So we are here on the ground level. This is on a hillside. All the streets or all the houses here are built into the hillside, and the uh, the nature of houses on hills is that they almost always have to go up in order to get square footage. So you can see the incline here behind me is very, very steep grade. But that doesn't seem to keep people from being up here. I've seen tons of Suburbans and big vehicles. There's people out getting their skis and snowboards ready. So we're going to go ahead and get started here and go into this house. I'll tell you a little bit more about this house as we work our way through it, but this would be the ground level kind of um, main entry floor off the garage. So like I said, when you have a vertical build type of a product, what that typically means is that you're not going to necessarily be getting all your square footage is not going to be spread out. It's going to be stacked up. And so I personally don't really like that style very much. So there's already a couple things about this house that I'm kind of not liking, but that's just the nature, like I said, of properties that are built on these types of inclines. So a couple of things you can see right here. There's already kind of some different types of products. For instance, these doors right here are made of metal. They're not your typical doors. And this is going to be your furnace space, utility type of space. And you can see they're definitely kind of a customized look. And this is one garage going this way. Closet here. There's another garage entry going this way. Everything is feeling pretty compact right now. Got a little, uh, almost like a powder room sink type of thing. And then this door right here is actually the door to, oh, pretty tight. Okay, never mind. It's locked because that is the elevator. So this house actually has an elevator that takes you all the way up, which is someone commented, that a lot of stairs on this house. Um, I'll tell you a little bit more about this house as far as like why this is even a possibility for a deal, but it's going to go ahead and continue on. Got the laundry space here, and the cleaners are here in the house. This is an Airbnb house right now, and so it's currently in the middle of turnover. We got our first set of stairs going up here, and I personally, um, I think that the whole reason why someone would be interested in a house like this is probably because they're looking for some kind of a vacation getaway property. So I'm just going to pan around the room a little bit. We're going to talk about this house and the possibilities here. This is it was just appraised not too long ago for $4.4 million. Love this view right outside the window. You've got, I don't know if you can see it or not because of the lighting, but you've got literally the side of the hill right there, and very steep grade, but definitely get a sense of cozy winter setting, kind of a winter um, lodge style home. Got a lot of ski memorabilia things in here like that here. So here's that bedroom. Looks like our first bedroom coming right off the first floor. We have a full walk-in shower, steam room or steam shower, and you have your own toilet space. You can see the way this is decorated here. Everything is definitely kind of dressed up, kind of give you a little bit of a cabin lodge feeling. By the way, sorry for my camera work here. Because of the platform I'm streaming from, I can't necessarily just turn the camera around, so apologies for that. But I have another powder room here. So we're looking so far at 1.5 bathrooms. This is be one of the main living spaces. So you can kind of see that it's a little bit tight. You know, you think for a house that's worth $4.5 million, you'd get a little bit more room. Here's our elevator again. So, and now we're entering into, looks like another kind of a master bedroom. I believe this house has 2 master bedroom spaces. Cleaners are here working right now. This one goes off to a private entry off, kind of its own private outside space, and gives us a little bit more. And wow, look at that. Isn't that amazing? So we're coming back into the house now off of the first levels. So you have your ground levels where we came in at. Now this is off the first floor. And they actually live in Florida. This is a house, another bathroom, another big shower space. Again, this is its own private shower space. It's kind of cool, built-in features like that. So you actually have like tile all the way up, and then you have these little built-in cubby spaces for towels. And what you have here is another bedroom. So kind of a Jack and Jill bathroom here. So we're on this first floor. We've actually got 3 bedrooms and 2.5 bathrooms. So you don't mind the cleaners; they're just doing their thing. Back here in this center area. Hey, with me, by the way, give me some thumbs up if you guys are seeing this. Make some comments. Let me know that you guys are actually seeing this. Excuse me, I'll get right by you. All right, so now we're on to the next floor. And give me some feedback if you guys are following this so far. Maybe you guys can give me some not worried about what you think about my camera work because all right, hey Robert, good to see you, bro. Yeah, we're gonna talk soon. So this would be kind of like the main kind of gathering area. You obviously have your kitchen. Again, another patio deck off of the main dining room space here. So very, very custom. Everything here in this house is custom. Now the problem, by the way, let me know if you can think of it. Let me know what the problem is with doing custom finishes in a high-end home. Just curious if any of you know what the potential problems are when you have a high-end luxury home and you do extremely customized finishes. Just kind of see if you guys have any feedback. Besides the fact that sometimes not everyone has the same taste in custom finishes. I don't know that my wife would like those. The other issue that you have sometimes with custom finishes is that they often kind of date the property. So when you have, a particular style that's really in vogue during a particular period of time, it can be really, really cool during that time, but it can also be really detrimental when you go to sell the property if it is extremely, unique to that particular time period. So almost everybody can remember the houses in the 90s that had all the kind of the light oak wood finishes. Somebody remember those? So you could tell those houses are kind of date the period that they were built in by the finishes that they had. So You know, when you have custom finishes in a house like this, it can definitely be a little bit detrimental to the fact that, you know, those custom finishes are unique to basin with a so we're let's see this. I think we're bathrooms. But these pellet stoves, rather, these things are awesome. So nice and cozy. Got a ceiling, all tongue groove. It looks like old distressed wood. Have another bedroom off of this main, or off this. I guess this would now be the second floor. So you have the ground level, first floor, now second floor, and this one does not have a bathroom. What are you guys thinking so far? Would you buy it? Is it worth $4.5 million? I don't know. I don't know. Let's go up to the next floor here. See, I've got a couple things I want to talk about. So it's kind of a nice touch. A little rail guard there. Don't get me wrong, custom doesn't necessarily. So there's our second set. So this is upper floor. This is like it would be the actual kind of the main master suite. You got vaulted ceilings here. Very cool. Got a big full. Now see, this is what I mean though. Okay, so you can see this granite was probably super high end, very popular when this house was built. I haven't had a chance to actually look up the exact time when this was built, but granite, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but granite is definitely not considered really be a high end finish right now. Maybe certain kinds of granite, but this style, this color, definitely not necessarily something that's going to be really popular. You know, so when you think of a $4.5 million house, you're probably not thinking of dark, almost black finishes with your granite countertops. I love that big window. A lot of natural light up here. You can see the side of the hill. You get that. So you have your closet back this way. Again, nice big shower. And then this bedroom with this kind of cathedral ceiling. Very, very cozy. Very warm. I really like that. Look, check this out. It's got it just kind of over that wall there. It's all open, so I love that kind of style. But so here's where. Well, let's go finish real quickly. I'll talk a little bit more about the details on this property. So, by the way, if you guys are still with me, give me a thumbs up. Give me a let me know you like this or not. Let me know if you hate it. See if we can actually get into this one here. So, hot tub space. All right, let's go check this out. Kind of have this little private hot tub off the main master primary bedroom. Very cool. So Park City, most of you probably know this, but Park City, they very kind of a trendy spot. A lot of ski options here, and you can see. By the way, you can see this big kind of custom retaining wall here. because of the steep slope of the hill behind us, you have a lot of customization. In fact, for this particular property, the current owners they actually hired an engineer to come out, and the engineer said that this house is built to twice the standards that would be just being, being something that they don't have to worry about the hillside or anything like that. So no real concerns there. But what I want to talk about a little bit on this particular property is the options for financing. So this particular property, the sellers have had it on the market for a little bit. They've dropped the price. They're in a situation where they really would like to get it sold. They have a business venture that they're kind of launching, and they want to take some of the capital from their equity here and deploy it toward their actual business. So what I suggested to the seller when I talked the other day was, I said, hey, what kind of interest rate do you have on your current loan? And she says, oh, it's somewhere in the 3% range. I said, okay, so would you be open if I could get you either all or at least a healthy portion of your equity? If I could get you all or a big chunk of your equity in cash, would you be open to leaving the loan in place for what you already have and letting me take over the payments? And remember, notice I didn't say, would you be open for a subject to offer? So that's not how you want to start off, negotiations with a seller or an agent. What you want to do is talk in really super simple terms that people understand. In other words, most people understand loan balance versus equity. So I said, okay, if I can get you as much of your equity as possible, would you be okay with leaving that loan balance in place and letting me take over that and make payments on it? And she said, well, yeah, I guess I'd be open to that. I haven't really ever done that before, but how would that work? And now I'm able to start explaining it to her. But here's what I want you to know is when you're talking about subject to or creative financing, you don't necessarily have to use the term subject to or creative financing. You don't even have to say own or carry. What you need to do is you need to be aware of the fact that most people, they're going to be thinking in terms of my equity. That's what they're going to get after they sell the house and pay off the loan. So in other words, whether they sell it to someone with cash, whether they sell it to someone using traditional loan option, or whether they do creative financing, it's really just about the equity that they have. That's what they're thinking. I'm going to get that equity and get my money back. And so talking to her about this particular loan that she has and finding out that it's a 3% interest, also that it's they have I believe they're at 2.5 million on their current loan. And so what I'm looking at is I'm going, okay, well, their asking price, if I take out the $2.5 million on the asking price and say we don't have to come up with that amount of money to be able to make the purchase. So we're going to leave the $2.5 million there open-ended, and we're going to kind of just start making the payments on that, which, by the way, I can totally do that with this particular property because it's already set up and operating as a very, very successful short-term rental property. So in other words, we have the financials, we already have bookings, we have everything in place for just literally start making payments on this property as soon as we purchase it, if this is something that we can put together. So what I'm looking at right now is I'm actually talking to a couple of kind of high-end home buyers, people that are looking to purchase properties like this, and I'm letting them know about the basically the terms and conditions of the current loan and figuring out what they would be comfortable with. And I have one particular partner that I know is interested in these types of properties. And I'm going to them and I'm saying, okay, if let's just say the asking price was 3.9 million and we were able to leave 2.5 million in place, well, that means we only have to come up with the 1.4 million to make up the difference. And so on that 1.4 million may not necessarily have to all come out in one chunk. And others might be able to say, hey, we're going to come up with 400,000 and we're going to finance the million for 6 months. The point I want to try to prove here is that even high-end luxury homes that don't necessarily need any immediate finishes, those can be really, really great opportunities for subject to offers, as long as you have someone that's able to come in and pay someone a big chunk of the equity they have. The thing about most high-end properties is that they do usually have equity in them, because most people that are buying high-end type of properties are people that are savvy. They understand, how credit works. They're utilizing their credit and they're leveraging that to purchase properties, but they almost always are going to have a big chunk of equity in it. So if you can work out something with the seller when it comes to the equity portion, and that's where, all these comes down to, that's about what they need. And with that in mind, I know they're going to need, if they sold it, on today's market to a traditional buyer, they'd be walking away after paying realtor fees and closing costs and everything. They'd be walking away with, about 1.4 million after they paid off their loan. So if I can come in with 1.4 million, or at least a good plan for them to get that in a relatively quick amount of time, and I can start making payments on the current loan and still cover the payments for the 1.4 million, which this particular property actually, I haven't run all the numbers yet. So we're going to do that. We're going to do our underwriting. Right now, though, we're having these conversations and we're seeing the property so that we can say, hey, this is actually something we'd like to pursue. This particular property produced somewhere in the realm of about $155,000 last year alone. And that's with 6 weeks during peak season that were not even booked out. So when you start doing the math on things, you think, well, who in the world can afford, $1.4 million? Well, you might be surprised at how many people out there have money to put into properties like this, especially in highly recreational areas or designation spots. So you guys don't just kind of push out, higher end properties because you think, oh, they don't need anything, or the seller would never be interested in that. In this particular case, the seller is interested in that, and they have the reasons. Never ever assume that somebody would do something or would not do something just because you wouldn't do something. Okay, I want to say it again. Never ever assume that a seller or really anybody would not do something just because you wouldn't do it. Okay, what I mean by that is people have their reasons and their motivations. They have their reasons for actually doing something. So Shannon says, is this the one you posted yesterday that was 4.5? Yes. So 1.4 million is what they have. I'm sorry, I think I was saying 2.5 million. I believe they have about 3.5, and no, I think they have about $3 million that they still owe on the property, Shannon. So what that means is if I can come up with the 1.4 that they need for their equity, then we can leave that loan in place. And that's where I'm, asking these questions, presenting it in really understandable terms. I'm not saying, hey, would you do a subject to deal with me? I don't say that. Most people don't know what subject to is. Even people that do know what subject to is don't necessarily always, they're not always thinking about it the right way. So we're talking about taking, what we know about a property and what we know, even more importantly, about the seller's situation, and then seeing if we can come up with a creative solution for the seller in regards to the property. Now, this particular property, if I can get into this and start making payments with the bookings that are already in place, this thing is booked out nonstop. In fact, if it's available, it's usually going to get booked because of the style or the type of house that can sleep, a dozen people, and he's got 6 bathrooms or whatever. He's got all this square footage, and you have people that come here to ski, or people that come here and mountain bike and hang out, or Sundance Film Festival and all that stuff. And those are properties that, even though other short-term rentals in traditional kind of classic neighborhoods and suburban areas, they are actually on the decline right now. But these types of short-term rental properties are still in very high demand. So see the inside of the house and the property. But I wanted to walk through this property today with you guys. It doesn't have to be a fixer. It doesn't have to be something that has to sustain itself and with cash flow pretty much from day I'll be looking and trying to get back to you. But what do you guys think? This is a half million, $4.4 million appraised value. I think it's on the market for under 4 million. And again, the current loan balance is actually in the place where the seller is understanding, hey, it might be better to leave that in place because the interest rate is so good that if I come in, I said, hey, if you leave that loan in place, then I might be able to come up with the money you need just to cash out your equity, or at least give you a really good plan for a chunk down, a little bit more to come, payments every month, however you want to work it out. But I find that out by, number one, asking the questions. You have to talk to sellers. Okay. Brent Daniels, his original coaching program that I signed up for years ago is called TTP. You have to talk to people. Okay. That's the name of the game in this business. If you're not good at talking to people, then get with somebody who is and work with them, because this business is all about relationships and finding solutions for people that are in distressed situations. You wouldn't think of a homeowner that owns a $4.5 million property as a distressed seller, and in a strictly totally what do you call it, in a totally literal sense, I don't know that the seller is distressed. Okay, but they have a need that by selling this property, that need gets met, it gets answered. And so in that sense, the property sitting on the market and them having this need coming up, they want to use some of the equity they have to finance a business venture that they're doing. And so it's in a sense they're distressed, just not in the classical sense. And if we can speak to that need, then and we can get into a property that essentially pays for itself from day one, then this $4.5 million property can be a really, really great purchase, if it serves the purpose is of the investor that's buying it. Buying it me. But the point is, you property is going to be in a real life what it is, what it looks like in the pictures. But having seen this property, even though this isn't my particular style, this isn't my flavor per se. As an investor, if I can look at the math and I can show that this property is performing very, very Airbnb platforms, this is, so to speak, to the next stage, which would be doing the underwriting. So some of you guys are always trying to figure out every last detail of every deal before analysis and doing